Hi guys! Come with me to work today. So I am currently an intern radiographer and I want to give you a quiet look into what a typical day looks like for me as a radiographer. So this is currently 11:25 a.m. and my shift starts so soon. So let's go.
So my workday usually begins here in the female core duty room. I come in, I drop off my bag, I settle in. If I need to change into my lab coat, I would do that. But for today, I'm just putting on a scrub. So I would just wear this and go straight to work. Then typically I head over to the record to check for any available patients. But because we're on strike, don't usually have a high influx of patients, so I'm just heading off straight to the Xray units. So this is the reception area, and fun fact, these walls are lined with lead. They're designed to prevent radiation from escaping into surrounding areas, especially because patients are usually seated out there. We can also see the radiation warning sign. And I go in and turn on the lights. We usually power down the equipment after use just to prevent any electrical issues that could come as a result of the light being on or the equipment being on. So basically every shift starts with a reset. So this is me trying to be cute. Then I head over to putting on my gloves to basically just clean the couch and just clean the machine, because most of the time when there is a previous shift or just an emergency, there could be blood stains or just germs that could just be on the couch or on the bucky. So I just like to do a thorough cleaning before I get into work for the day. So this is me being all goofy with the camera, and I'm just trying to hang all these lead-lined gowns. They're usually worn by caregivers who need to assist patients that are unstable or unable to stand on their own, especially pediatric patients. Oh my god, this is usually worn by parents of children who are unstable. So they basically help reduce radiation exposure, and let me tell you that these things are heavier than they look. I kid you not, they're so heavy. So I just basically arrange them on the hanger and just straighten them just so that the place looks more organized and just for the next person to come and access them easily. Next thing I do is to close the door and tube bomb the extra equipment. Tube bombing definitely helps with preventing thermal shock and just to get the tube calibrated properly. We have to put the X-ray tube down, facing down by the couch. This is me just getting the exposure factors ready. We usually do that in 3 different sets of exposure. I guess I'm going to explain that in more detail in another video on why we do a proper tube bombing of the equipment before we start to use it. So I basically just did a short video of the entire environment after cleaning, because I'm not going to lie, I love me a clean room. There's just something really satisfying about starting the day with everything in order. So while I wait for my first patient, I usually take a moment to check myself out. Honestly, this is one of my favorite parts of coming to work. I just love to check out my scrub or my outfit that I just wore that day. So I had my first patient. She was a lady in her mid-40s and she was definitely in distress, so I had to be fast. This is just a typical regular chest X-ray. the patient is stable, but obviously I had to do this faster than normal because I just didn't want to keep her or tire her out. So this is me collimating to prevent radiation exposure to the anatomical parts that are not in need of the radiation. I just want to keep it within the chest region as much as possible. And yeah, I would do it definitely. I'll definitely do an explanation of why collimation is very important during any radiation exposure in another video. So yeah. So this is my working station, the controlled area. This is where the monitor is and where the exposure factors are selected. Then this is me putting on my TLD badge. This is very good for quality control because it measures the amount of radiation that I absorb on a daily basis. Now I'm trying to print out all the exposures and images I took that day. I'm selecting the appropriate film size. And now I'm waiting for the printed image. I really enjoy this part because I know that a well-processed image and properly exposed image makes for a better interpretation for the doctor, and that's honestly what really matters. So that's really the end process of this entire work to begin with. So I'm cutting them up to put them into the patient's jacket and then dispatch them so that when the patients come, they could just get their images at the entrance of the department. So after a 6-hour shift, I'm headed home and I'm happy. I do a little video of myself and I head over to the call room where I take off my TLD. If I was putting on my lab coat or just, differently dressed because of theater radiography, I would definitely have changed. And that's that about that. And that's a day in my life as a radiographer. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.